Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to give you guys my Knicks free agent recap. Go over all the contracts that we gave out, go over the players that are leaving the New York Knicks, and just go over the lineup, the depth chart, who's starting at point guard, who's the backups, who's going to be on this Knicks team in 2021 and 2022 season that's coming up. I'm so excited to give you guys this video. We're finally seeing what Leon Rose and the entire Knicks front office, what their vision is for the short term and the long term. We're extending Julius Randle. We gave contracts to Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker. We have people like Reggie Bullock, Elfrid Payton leave potentially. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts of every single contract we handed out, go over the depth chart and all that great stuff. So if you guys are new to Knicks Media, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And if you want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at NYKnicks_media. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right in. And again, guys, I'm sorry I'm not home in my normal studio. I'm on vacation on the West Coast in Los Angeles with my friends, and I'm in an Airbnb. So I'm in a random bedroom right now. So I hope you guys can bear with me during this time, but I'm going to be here for a week. I'm going to try to report as much as I can, create Knicks content no matter where I am. Luckily, I brought my equipment with me, and I can work remotely. So here we are today, and I'm giving you guys this video. I'm super excited. So first off, we're going to go over all the contracts, and then at the end of the video, we're going to break down the depth chart for the New York Knicks. So first off, let's talk about Evan Fournier, because this is the big contract that we handed out to a new player. Evan Fournier signed a 4-year deal worth up to $78 million, which is around $19.5 million per year, and there's also a team option in year 4. So if you really want to go over it in this way, it's technically a 3-year deal. Worth up to, let's do the math. So essentially the contract could be 3 years, $58.5 million if the Knicks do not want to pick up his option for year 4. So some people look at the contract and they're like, oh my God, $78 million for 4 years. That's honestly really not that bad, especially with the team option. So essentially it's a 3-year deal worth up to $58.5 million if they do not opt into his contract for the 4th year. And if you compare all the contracts to everybody else around the NBA seeing all these contracts, this is a very cheap deal for a guy in Evan Fournier, who is a proven guard in this league that can shoot the perimeter at a high level, be a playmaker. He's playing very well for France right now for the Olympic team, and this is a guy that's going to come in here and provide an immediate impact for this Knicks squad. He's going to be replacing Reggie Bullock in the starting lineup, and we needed to sign somebody like Evan Fournier to, go along with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. We needed a really good dynamic playmaker that could put the ball on the floor. We all love Reggie Bullock, and he's gone now, and we all wish him the best, but the only problem with Reggie Bullock is he was very limited. The only thing he can do offensively is catch and shoot, and he was our best defender on the perimeter, so we're definitely going to miss his defense. But on the offensive side of things, Reggie, the only thing he did is camp in the corners, camp at the wing, wait for the ball, catch and shoot, and he did a great job. But what Evan Fournier is going to do, he can have the ball in his hands, he can be a playmaker, he can create his own shot. He's not relying on somebody to set him up. He's really good at catch and shoot opportunities. He's really good at sizing you up and driving to the rim. He's good at step back 3-pointers. He can create his own shot. So we have another dynamic playmaker on the team who is a great shooter. So I'm happy we went out there and got Evan Fournier. He's only 28 years old, entering the prime of his career, and I feel like we just needed to get a guy like this to really come in here and help his team win. We had a lot of cap space. We needed to do it, and I know a lot of Knicks fans are like, oh, we gave out all this money and now we don't have a lot of cap space for the future. Well, we needed to go all in right now if we want to be competitive this year. We need to upgrade the roster. The only way you upgrade the roster this year is if you hand out some contracts. Unfortunately, there's no superstar out there that we can get, but what the Knicks do is they went out there, was smart with their money. They're investing 3 years into this team, and we still have a lot of flexibility with these contracts that they're tradable. So that's my thoughts of Evan Fournier. Now let's get into Kimball Walker. As I'm recording this video, I do not know how many years the contract is. I don't know if that's announced, but I do know it's around $8 million per year. Whether that's a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, that's unknown as I'm recording this video, but we'll definitely find that out eventually. So Kemba Walker, we signed him an $8 million contract. And I'm super excited for him, man. Coming back to New York, he was born and raised here, as we know. Cardiac Kemba, had that crazy play at the Garden that everybody will never forget. And UConn, what Kemba Walker is bringing to the Knicks is a very experienced point guard that has proven to be very good in the NBA. What's the only thing that's holding Kemba Walker back? Injury concerns. When he's on the floor, there's no worry whatsoever because he is still playing at a high level. He averaged around 19 points per game last year, around just under 5 assists per game. That's the thing. Some people think like, oh, Kemba Walker's washed up. No, he's not washed up. The only issue with Kemba Walker is his knees. That's the big question mark. Can he stay healthy? When he's healthy and he's on the floor, he still plays very good. He's not a washed up basketball player. At 31 years old, he's got so much juice left in the tank, and he said before this offseason that he really wanted to put in work and get his body right and his mind right for the season. And Kemba Walker is going to be like the best point guard that the Knicks have had in quite some time if he can just stay healthy. That's really all it comes down to. So I'm so happy that the Knicks went out there and got Kemba Walker. So those are the two brand new guys to the Knicks, which is Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier. Now let's go over some of the contracts of the players that we re-signed. Starting off with Derrick Rose, we gave him a 3-year, $43 million contract. This is my favorite re-signing easily. D Rose came to the Knicks via trade last year. We gave up Dennis Smith Jr. in a second-round pick, and Derrick Rose really helped out the veteran point guard position, developed RJ Barrett, Emmanuel quickly, getting inside the minds like Obi Toppin, being that veteran on and off the floor, really helping the young guys understand Thibodeau's system. It was just such a match made in heaven for D Rose. He comes into the playoffs with us, is the best player performer by far by anybody, has the most experience, and he has so much left in the tank. Derrick Rose is now a veteran. He's evolved his game to be a more of a slowed down. He drives to the rim methodically. He doesn't rely on his athleticism. Now he can shoot the ball from downtown. He can play make. He can still size you up. He still has absolutely phenomenal quickness where he can blow by you. Here's a lot of Derrick Rose left, and I'm so happy we gave him a 3-year deal because that's really awesome that the Knicks see a lot of potential in Derrick Rose on this team for the next 3 seasons. Now going into the next contract, which is Alec Burks, we signed him to a 3-year, $30 million deal, and this is a player that I'm happy that we re-signed as well. It's around $10 million per year. I feel like this is very cheap. If you look around the league and see what other contracts are being handed out, Alec Burks for $10 million per year, and I'm pretty sure there's a team option at the end of it, so it's a 2-year deal. But Alec Burks, his versatility off the bench, what he can do to the squad is absolutely amazing. He was a big reason why we were in the playoffs because of his clutch performances, everything that he brought to the Knicks this year, whether it's 3-point shooting, he can run the point at sometimes if we're battled with injuries. He's a very good player. I'm happy we signed him. And then Nerlens Noel, 3-year, $32 million deal. I'm happy we brought him back. We got the big man who absolutely locked it down for us when Mitchell Robinson went down with an injury. Defensive anchor, only player in the league to average over 2 blocks and a steal. We know what Nerlens Noel brings to the table. He needed to be re-signed because if we let him walk, who's going to play the center position? Are we going to trade for somebody? Or are we going to sign a new free agent? I'd rather have somebody that knows the system of Tom Thibodeau, knows what's asked for him every single day. So our centers is still the same from last year, and I'm totally okay with that. And we got a rookie in Jericho Sims, who we'll see what he can do. And then Taj Gibson, we brought him back on a 1-year deal, $2.7 million. This is a no-brainer for the Knicks. We got Taj and Derrick Rose running it back with Tom Thibodeau for another season. He's somebody that I'm very excited is coming back. He's going to be that situational role where if either Mitchell Robinson or Nerlens Noel goes down with an injury, Taj Gibson comes in and he gets minutes in the rotation. That's Taj Gibson's role in this team. He's a great veteran on and off the court. This is a no-brainer. I'm happy that he's still playing going into year how old is he now? 37 years old? Shout out to Taj, baby. And then the last thing I want to talk about before we get into the depth chart is Julius Randle signing an extension for the New York Knicks. It's a 4-year, $117 million extension, and the full contract is 5 years, $140 million if you include this year that we're about to pay him. So shout out to Julius Randle, around $27 million per year average. That is crazy. If you look at the contracts compared to everybody else around the league that is getting the All-NBA third, second, and first teams, he's getting 27 average. Everybody else is 30 plus with ease. And it's pretty crazy what Julius Randle did for the Knicks, putting the Knicks organization ahead of himself. That you don't see that a lot in the NBA anymore. That tells you how much he respects the Knicks organization, the city of New York, and us Knicks fans. He wants to be here long term. He's helping us out. The Knicks can maintain future cap flexibility in order to build around him. So shout out to Julius Randle. I already made a whole video about that, so check that out. Now let's get into the fun stuff, which is the Knicks depth chart. And this is what I'm predicting for it to look like. It's definitely not guaranteed this player is going to start, but this is just position by position what I really mapped out in my notes. So At point guard, we got Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, and Miles McBride as the 3 point guards on the Knicks going into the season. And, you know, Luka Vildoza can also be a point guard. Emmanuel Quickley can also be a point guard. But I'm just like separating it this way. So even though one person's labeled as this position doesn't mean he's only going to play this position. We have very versatile guys on this team that could play multiple positions. You know what I mean? Now at the shooting guard, we got Evan Fournier, Emmanuel Quickley, Luka Vildoza. At small forward, RJ Barrett, Alec Burks, and Quentin Grimes. And again, guys, RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, they both can play the 2. I'm not saying they're small forwards. They're versatile. Quentin Grimes is more of a shooting guard in my eyes. He's more of a guard for sure. But you never know what the Knicks are going to do. They're going to be moving guys around all over the place. And then at the 4, we got Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, and Kevin Knox. And at the center position, Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel, and Taj Gibson. So these are the depth chart for all 5 positions for the New York Knicks. The starters, if I had to guess, Derrick Rose can definitely start over Kemba Walker for sure. But I think that's going to be up in the air of who starts, Kemba or D Rose. And then it's definitely going to be Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. So if you guys want to look at what we improved on, right? So we're essentially replacing Elfrid Payton with Kemba Walker, and we're replacing Reggie Bullock with Evan Fournier. If that's not an improved team, I don't know what else to say. We all know what we think about Elfrid Payton, but Reggie Bullock definitely brought a lot to this team, and I alluded to it earlier in the video, but Evan Fournier is a way better basketball player than Reggie Bullock. It's that simple. He can do way more on the floor, and it's just a big upgrade. Going from Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock in the starting lineup and flipping those guys around into Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, that's remarkable, especially with the same guys of D Rose and Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel on the team, and guys like Emmanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin entering year 2, who we think that he could definitely have a big jump, especially Obi Toppin. I feel like he's destined to have a great year 2. And then at the center position, we can't forget about Jericho Sims, whether he's going to be a two-way player or he's going to be playing in the G League. He's a center that could definitely be on the team this year if we do battle injuries. So I definitely want to bring him up. And then Rokas, I feel like our second-round draft pick, he might be a guy that's going to be playing overseas for a couple seasons, so he's probably not going to be on the team this year. But this is the overall depth chart that I brought up. I feel like we're a very deep team, and the one thing that I noticed that this Knicks team is preparing for injuries. We have guys where if we go down, these players can step up, and I love it. We got 15 guys right now. Hopefully we can re-sign Theo Pinson. I saw there is a rumor that we're going to do that, but I don't think anything's official yet. But yeah, this is my thoughts of free agency recap for the New York Knicks. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of what Leon Rose and company did by re-signing all these players, bringing in Kemba, Evan Fournier, extending Julius Randle, and the overall depth chart for the New York Knicks. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments. Like the video if you guys enjoyed. Comment down below a Statue of Liberty emoji if you stayed until the end, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let's go Knicks. Peace.